After searching all the wrong places, they finally looked here, in this community, and discovered something much less tangible, more noble than they'd ever imagined. These are the real stories. It's what they were looking for. Welcome to American Dream.
WNDU welcomes you to the winter edition of American Dream. Stories of remarkable people who make Michiana such a great place to live, work, and play. On this special episode, you will be taken on a thrilling aerial ride high in the sky by a brilliant young man who served as an advisor to the White House, but whose passion is working in dirt. Hang on tight. This young man will change how you think of farmers forever. And yeah, it's winter, but we've got an unforgettable local baseball story for you. A history-making story that starts in Chicago over 100 years ago and promises brighter days ahead for baseball fans in Michiana. But first, meet the hardest-working, most optimistic couple in Michiana. They've been helping to make this a better community one person at a time since they got married. Let's just say a long time ago. Now sit back and enjoy this edition of American Dream.
They care about a lot of people. I think we're lucky to have them in our community.
And I'm just honored and grateful to have time with them. Every time I walk away from them, I feel better.
Life's good, right? Well, here's a slice for you. From a couple of the most charming, hardworking, optimistic people you'll ever meet. Going about their everyday business every day, making a huge difference in the lives of a lot of people, expecting nothing and not wanting anything in return.
Life is good, it is good to me, and it was meant for you to live and be free, to live and be free. 'Cause today is only here and then it's tomorrow. There's no point living a life that's full of regret and drowning in sorrow. Lift your head up high and open your eyes. You can choose to be happy. If you try, you might be surprised.
They kind of fly under the radar. People have no idea sometimes just how involved they are. They've never done anything for the community so that people would recognize it. They did it because it was in their heart. It was something that was important to them. It's not supposed to be about them. I think that's their nature. And I think that's one of the reasons why they're so respected in the community.
As a young couple, Mary Jane worked as a school teacher, while Bill pursued a law degree. Hard to believe now, but when they moved back to South Bend, they wondered if there'd be room for another attorney in town. Well, if character has anything to do with success in life, Mary Jane and Bill had nothing to worry about.
He and I share a particular satisfaction out of the young people that really deserve a second opportunity. They made a mistake young in life. They fell into a bad situation, hard times, made a bad decision, and you're able to give them an opportunity. And sometimes that opportunity is just is making sure that the system is fair to them.
We've been on 3 or 4 other boards together, Mary Jane and I have been. She's like a magnet. She brings other people. They're 2 modest individuals. You look at Bill's work. He's a consummate attorney. We don't always know the intricacies of some of the work he's done, but he's basically saved lives.
People with alcohol and drug addiction issues are ill. But I don't know if he knows for sure just what an impact he's had on so many lives. I know a number of families have expressed gratitude because he's, I think, very direct with young adults, especially in saying, You know, you've got to make some different choices.
We can't measure, maybe Bill can, but how many lives has he saved? How many lives has he changed?
They've gotten into trouble. And many times people have kind of protected that they've never been arrested or they've never missed work. And those kinds of things become affected. And many times that's sort of that push point where now it is a problem. Now I have been arrested, or now I'm in job trouble.
And how many times did he have to read the riot act to a kid and to a kid's family to get them on the straightened path?
Mary Jane, she's chaired and served on so many volunteer boards and committees. It wears you out just thinking about it. And when she met a hospice patient who loved ice cream sundaes, she started making regular appointments to pick one up so she'd have a reason to visit with him.
Very few people would know that unless you were at the facility where he resided, or you were trying to schedule lunch and knew that she was coming from a certain side of town. So I mean, there's a lot of things that they do that are just done quietly.
Absolute character. She's a jewel, just absolutely a jewel. They're both two of God's very, very special people. And if you know them, you gotta like them and you gotta love them. You don't walk away not knowing them this much without feeling that way about them.
In the late 80s, long before they were common, AARC held one of the first charity auctions in town. Memorabilia from Notre Dame and other items from across the country was raising lots of desperately needed money for the organization. But one national item fell embarrassingly silent. No bids at all. That is until Mary Jane made a bid. To this day, somewhere in the Stanley home in South Bend is an entire set of Hulk Hogan World Wrestling Federation posters and memorabilia.
They're just so committed. You know you can count on them. If they say that they'll help you, they help you.
They are just outstanding people. This community is very lucky to have both of them.
The Stanleys, as a married couple, the two of them combined to be the best advocates that AARC could ever have.
Bill and Mary Jane have been quietly supporting AARC for decades. Bill has referred more people to the organization over the years than almost anyone else. Mary Jane, she's been supporting AARC for over 30 years.
We give people choices. We tell them, look, you have some options and you have some choices to make, because we obviously can't do that for them, but many times I think people feel like they don't have enough choice, and in this regard we try to let them know that they do have some choices, and hopefully they'll make some good ones.
It's hard to put into words how much I truly care, and everything they do is for other members of this community, and I hope I can be half the parent to my kids one day that they've been to me, and I would definitely consider that to be a success.
They've always treated everyone the same way, no matter who you are, no matter how much you have, and I think that's a great lesson. People would come up to me and say how special my mom was or how special my dad was. I think they're very special. I knew that. I think the world of them.
They're optimists. They always have a positive spin on life. They live their lives with incredible zest and incredible passion. It's infectious to be around them, and I think that that's something that would carry throughout the community as you get to know my parents and you become friends with them, that they want to have what they're giving to their friends actually then transfer over to those who have needs as well.
Mom and Dad, I'm going to get choked up. I love you both so very much, and congratulations on this great honor.
We're all searching for what's our true purpose in life. My parents have found it. My dad works incredible hours, but he loves what he does. My mom, she's a professional philanthropist. She's busier than probably half the CEOs in America.
They put others, in front of themselves and making sure everyone else is taken care of and secure. And so I couldn't be any more proud of them, and it's just it's an honor to call them my mom and dad.
This was a wonderful tribute to two wonderful people who so modest as they are, were reluctant to do it. But bottom line, the two of them also knew that this is of extreme benefit for AARC.
I'm always grateful that we've been one of those organizations that they've stuck with all these years, because it's been a huge help to us.
Life's good, right? Just ask Bill and Mary Jane.
Life is good.
Or or the hundreds, the thousands of people they've helped over the years. The hardest working, most optimistic couple you'll ever meet. Going about their everyday business every day. Making a huge difference in the lives of a lot of people.
The path takes some time to laugh.
Never wanting or expecting anything in return. Just a little slice of life. Thank you, Bill and Mary Jane.
Lift your head up high and open your eyes.
And God bless you.
You can choose to be happy. If you try, you might be surprised. Lift your head up high and open your eyes. You can choose to be happy. If you try, you might be surprised. Choices that you make can be revised.
I met Howard W. Buffett in Afghanistan a few years ago. Columbia University faculty member, former White House advisor, philanthropist, and farmer who's working hard to change the world. If you think you know what farming is, listen to this young man and strap yourself in for a thrilling joyride as Howard himself narrates and films a typical day on a Midwestern farm.
Farming is one of the oldest practices known to mankind. For thousands of years, we have been working the land, feeding our neighbors, and eventually feeding the world. It's hard work, but it's not hard to understand just how important that work is. On a day like this, at our farm in Nebraska, we tend to get an early start, because like any farm, there's always work to get done. We have a big goal for the day. We want to get this year's entire corn crop planted, but we have to get it done before it starts raining in the evening. Farming has a lot of demands, but it's also incredibly rewarding. On our farm in Nebraska, not only are we growing food and supporting our community, but we take pride in our work because we do everything with a conservation mindset. We're working to improve our soil, reduce carbon emissions, minimize runoff, and save water. And at the same time, we've been able to increase our yields by 20% in just 3 years. One of the things we do is called no-till, which means we don't break up all the soil in the field. Because we don't till the field, it means that we can plant right into the ground, even though last year's crop residue is still there. This minimizes soil erosion, keeps carbon trapped underground, saves on fuel, and also helps build the organic matter in the soil. Thanks to USDA's Conservation Stewardship Program, we've been able to adopt other important practices, like planting cover crops and using soil moisture sensors that I can pull up right on my phone. Farming has made some amazing progress over the years, but there are times when I feel that society has lost touch with our agricultural heritage, and also the great work that American farmers are doing all over the country. I think it's important that we know where we've come from, and that we know where our food comes from. And I think it's important that we all get to know our local farmers a little bit better.
This story about downtown South Bend and the greater South Bend region starts in Chicago well over 100 years ago, with names like Tinker, Evans, Chance, and Mordecai Brown, better known as Three Finger Brown, whose 2 missing fingers helped him throw such hard-to-hit curveballs that the Chicago Cubs won back-to-back World Series in 1907 and 1908. Perhaps because it's the oldest professional sports team in America. Perhaps because it's remained loyal to the city, the entire region where it's remained since the beginning, or for some intangible, hard-to-describe reason that no one's ever been able to get their arms around. Cubs fans are the most loyal and, sometimes the most vocal in the world. Especially here, in this town.
Wow, I gotta say, this morning's happy dance was not for nothing. For all of you in the media, for the fans that came here, thank you very much. This is all good news. This is happy news, and it's news that's really well-deserved. We're leveraging for South Bend one of the greatest brands in baseball, possibly in corporate world too. That C is known throughout the world. It is a fantastic brand for this city. The South Bend Cubs is now a reality and no longer a dream.
We at the Cubs really feel you'll have a team of young men who are going to play the Cubs way, and it will be a team that you'll be proud to sit in the stands with your families, with your colleagues, with your friends.
Thank you all of you for being here, and thank you South Bend for having us. All of us at the Cubs are extremely excited about this new partnership and about the fact that we can call South Bend our Midwest League home.
So when the team takes the field in April of 2015 in our city, our cheers, our support, our adoration of the Cubs will remind them of every moment they are here that dreams can and do come true right here in South Bend, where winning with integrity and grit is very much a part of our DNA.
We'd like to see more of the players coming up through our system, being coached by the same coaches for a period of time, really being taught the way we want them to be taught.
Someday, the Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series.
I came here to help build that foundation, help the Cubs win.
Sooner than we think.
Baseball is better with history.
That's it! That's it! Hey! He did it! Ernie Banks!
Baseball is better with fans who care. Baseball is better in ballparks like this.
So when they make it to Wrigley, they're part of an organization, not just a guy that we brought in to fill a hole.
And it ultimately results in a World Series. It's going to impact a lot of Cubs fans who for generations have waited and waited for a World Series.
A World Series. Part of playing to win is about keeping promises, delivering. Like a South Bend team that sets new records every year. But improvements are never done. This year, South Bend's team replaced the artificial turf with natural turf. Better for professional ball players. In 2015, the team opens the Cubs cage, the finest indoor batting facility in the league. 15,000 square feet with 6 tunnels and 2 pitching mounds here over the right field wall. A new weight training and fitness center will greet Cubs recruits this spring, as well as a new team clubhouse where players and coaches can relax before and after games, also one of the best in the league. And in South Bend, players and coaches always receive overwhelming public support every season by thousands of fans in the region who love professional baseball. Over 750,000 men, women, and children within easy driving distance of downtown South Bend. And a short, simple drive to Wrigley Field that fans from this region have made for decades. South Bend, a microcosm of Chicago in so many ways, with an international airport, direct flights to major cities across the country, and one of the most experienced executive teams in minor league baseball. A team that gets it. A team that understands this is about doing everything we can to develop players who make it. About giving ball players every advantage we can. Honoring what it means to be a professional baseball team in this community. And doing everything South Bend fans and team can do to help the Chicago Cubs make it to the World Series.
It seems to me the ingredients, the nucleus is there.
And about taking the field in this city next spring with a new name. A name that everyone in this region loves.
Someday, the Chicago Cubs are going to be in a World
The Cubs. The South Bend Cubs.
That foundation for sustained success is going to impact a lot of people who for generations have waited for a World Series.
Make no small plans because they're all possible.
Getting to know the people, getting to hear the story of the community and how it's on the upswing, and the support that we would get from the fans in the community. Really, the whole package presented itself.
Unforgettable stories like Bill and Mary Jane Stanley's. Midwestern farmers like Howard W. Buffett, the Chicago Cubs, and now our own South Bend Cubs are all a part of the fabric of life in Michiana. We call this program American Dream because the people who live here are unique and make this place special. WNDU-TV is proud to share these stories with you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on American Dream.